All right. It is Crockett 36, and I am here with Oysteilo. He is from Norway and has been playing Axis and Allies. When did you first get introduced to Axis and Allies, Oysteilo?
I've been playing it for, yeah, I don't really know, but close to 20 years now, I think.
20 years. Okay, good, good.
So on and
And
off. And for the first years, I just played regular board games. And then maybe 10 years ago or so, I was introduced to the Axis and Allies.org and started to playing online. And that was
very good.
very good with the respect to like improving your skills and
Yes.
playing other skilled people and see what they are doing with the games.
All right. And you played or are playing right now against Gamerman, and he is a past champion, and you guys are in the middle of a game. You're playing with a plus 40 bid, and you're also using technology. Now you also upgraded to the UHD map, which is AAA has come out with. It's pretty unique. I think Black Elk worked on it quite a bit, probably Barney, I think, as well. But that's it's a different look, and actually you can miss some things unless you really sort of zoom in a little bit. Have you found it to be a good map to work with?
I think when you get used to it, it's actually quite a fun map,
Yeah.
but it is very complicated in the beginning because it looks different, and
Hmm.
you think you can do things you can't do uh, because of how the borders are drawn. So you need to
Yep.
be very careful. But when you get into it and understand the dynamics and how the map actually is the same, it
Right.
becomes easier. But it looks different and it gives a different feel.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to get into it. I am going to start screen sharing. I believe that I have it on so that when you talk, you will be highlighted, and when I talk, I will be highlighted. If that is not the case, then I'll apologize ahead of time, but let's see here. And I'm going to do as background, and that is what I want. And here we go. So again, you chose technology. Can you just give us a good solid defense of using technology, which I think you motivated and poked at Ted to do, if I'm correct.
Well, I don't remember exactly how we agreed on the technology, but it's fun with technology because the game becomes different, it becomes less predictable, and you also have to adapt your strategies to the technology. I mean, if you get long-range aircraft, for instance,
Yes,
it's a big deal.
yeah,
Uh, Super subs is also a big deal because
yes,
uh, yeah, the battle will be different basically,
that's
and
right.
you have to look out for that, and that's yeah, maybe it will make you play a little bit more conservative because you never know what the other guy will develop.
Right.
So yeah, I
Now
think
you
that's
are playing with a straight out of the box, so you're going to throw some dice, and if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, it just goes away. Um,
right.
so that is
Exactly.
out of box. Now the other thing you did was you bid 40. You feel pretty good about this bid roll going into this, or you feel like it's a little low, a little high?
I think 40 is a low bid, but it helps with technology because that also throws a X factor into the game. So
Very good.
in the technology, you can maybe go for a lower bid than without technology. But
Excellent.
technology is definitely a risky thing to do because uh, you never know what you will hit or
Yep.
if you will hit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will develop something that's not very useful for you. So it's
Yes.
also a concern.
Excellent. Okay. Good. I agree. So when you did the bid, you placed two um, artillery and two fighters in Russia. You placed a fighter, and I think you can see the computer. You should be able to see the board right now. Um,
Yeah.
and you placed an extra fighter in Volgograd. you placed a fighter in extra fighter in Moscow, and you placed an artillery in Amur as well as Baracha. Um, and that will be shown here. There it is. Okay, and then you also placed an infantry in um, Yunnan. Okay, so and I'll just sort of let the cat out of the bag that you're going to try the Russian aircraft gambit, which has been very successful at holding Yunnan the first turn and deters the Japanese from just steamrolling China.
So,
You
so
also,
basically,
yep, go
so
ahead.
basically, I think for out of box, the best bid you can do is 23 bid to Russian fighters and the extra infantry in Yunnan. I think that's the best bid you can do for 23.
That is excellent information. I don't know if anybody is listening to this, but if you are, that was a piece of gold that at base minimum 23, two additional fighters and one infantry is going to secure Yunnan. And right there, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's $23 plus six, right? Because, or seven, because you're going to keep Yunnan. So that's $1. And you get the $6 bonus for the Burma Road. So in
And you
addition,
also and you
go
also
ahead.
get to buy artillery for China, which is a
That's
big
right.
thing.
Yeah. So we have stacking effects here that are beneficial just because you can keep Yunnan J1. So very, very good. The uh, British also place an infantry in both Anglo-Egyptian Sudan and in Egypt, and that's shown here. Um, Interestingly, you also purchase a French infantry and place it in Normandy, Bordeaux. Can you tell us about this? I've never seen this done before, but tell me, an infantry in Normandy, Bordeaux. What were you thinking?
Well, it's just a silly bid. It's just basically just a gamble.
Okay,
Sometimes if Germany has a hard time in France, you can have a good combat with an extra guy there, or you can even attack southern France if Italy attacks it, because yeah, you also have the French fighter in London. So it's
very
a
good.
little punch, and it also yeah,
I
it's
like the
it's not more
offensive thinking.
complicated. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
like.
more complicated than
Yeah,
that.
very good. I like the offensive thinking. So many people are thinking, "What can I survive with?" Turn one, and you're actually thinking offensively, which I do appreciate. So he buys a carrier, destroyer, and a sub. Um, turn one for Germany, and does some pretty standard stuff. However, he is also pretty conservative and leaves you with a 111 fleet undented. You've got the 109 fleet. He's actually failed to take the transport out of 106, but you have lost your cruiser in 91. How are you feeling going into? By the way, this is an example of this map. You're looking for a huge mass of German infantry, and I can't find them. Um, and and I'm like,
We
where?
discovered that there were like an error in the setup. I think
Ah,
I think there are 10 infantry missing in Germany.
gotcha,
Uh, it should be 11 infantry in Germany, but it looks like it's only one.
gotcha. Okay,
We added those guys at some point in round one, probably after G1 or after Russia won. I don't quite remember, but
okay.
yeah, it was
So
added.
he walks out of France, and he has no artillery left, no mechs, only six tanks. That is a very, very good rolling for so many fighters reserved from the
And
one at Tebet.
if you go back down a little bit,
Uh-huh.
I think this also illustrates why I did that infantry. Now Italy has to take southern France, or they have to support France somehow.
Very
Because
good.
if I attack with all those 6 units with the plane, maybe I can kill a lot of German armor.
Very good. Very good. That's excellent. Okay, and then we move to Russia, turn one. You buy two artillery, seven infantry, and two mech. Now, I think I know why you did this. Can you tell me why you did this?
Well, the mechs are for China, and everything else is basically defending Russia or Russian territories.
Excellent.
So
Okay,
yeah, we'll try to move those into
good.
China if required. We don't know yet if
Yeah,
it's required or not.
gotcha. Okay. And with his purchase of ships as Germany, obviously Russia feels a little bit of a sigh of relief that they are not going to be the punching bag right away. Um,
Yeah.
and they have literally there are either seven times four, seven less artillery or 10 less infantry or five less armor um, coming toward Russia.
Yeah. And that also allows you to buy more fast movers, like the two mech infantries that can go into China.
Excellent. And you were that's a so you've already got two. You've already got your planes there, the four planes. You've already got in Xinjiang an infantry, a mech and a tank, and with another mech and a tank in Kazakhstan, and just newly purchased two mech in Volgograd. We are going to put the hurt onto Japan. It looks like the Japan in response buys transports, I believe, three transports, and we're just going to rush down to the end and see how they configure themselves. They end up with 36, and that is on account of taking French Indochina. They do not get trade with the U.S. bonus. But this has developed Andrew A. I've seen Andrew A. Gamer do this, um, and it's obviously very interesting. The other thing that is interesting is that this is a J1. He has attacked. He did not take Borneo. He did take the Philippines, um, and he did take Hong Kong. But this is a J1, and America is in the war. Um,
I also think he took Guam.
oh wow.
Uh,
Okay.
I,
Oh, he
yeah,
attacked. Oh, he attacked Honolulu. Okay. Wow.
he attacked a lot of islands. He
Gotcha.
attacked all
Guam.
the
Yep.
American islands.
He's got his ships mostly off a wake.
Uh,
Wow, I forgot about that. So a powerful strike against the Allies. Some very upfront aggression. Now, pretty quickly, we're going to see that these land units. He now has two, four, six land units, maybe seven if you wanted to count the mech here, that are in proximity of Yunnan. But Yunnan is going to be able to dump all purchases plus these other troop units into Yunnan. So Yunnan looks it will be holding for another, and you've got Russian reinforcements. Yunnan will hold for another turn, especially when you don't have the 36 fleet here like normal. You don't have the aircraft. You've got the aircraft both spread out over 35 as well as around Wake Island. And we are talking about the China having a strong Chinese turn. This is he's also kept back three scramblers to protect these transports. So we are talking about a strong China game right off the bat. So the big. We're going to see a different kind of Asian game, I think. All right, let's go with the Americans. Now, this I think was really, I've been thinking about this lately, so I'm curious. Tell me about your purchase. America buys at war two bombers, one carrier, two submarines. I'm going to go down to the placement just so you can see. I don't think there is combat in one sea zone, and that's 26. And of course, America wins. Um, Let me give you a flyover of the American territories at the end of the turn. America is stacked up right next to the large Wake Island fleet, the fleet off Wake Island, and it is ready for battle. It's got scrambling fighters in Hawaii. And tell me about the bomber purchases.
well, I think um, it's been a while, so I'm not sure if I completely remember, but I think it has to do with Hawaii. because if he attacks my fleet at Hawaii, then I can counter that attack with the subs and the bombers.
Okay, yes. Um, was this a oversight, the movement of the transport to 86 to grab Brazil? It's going to be hit by the sub, but you do gain $2. Um,
Maybe it
so
was an oversight. I don't remember, but
sure, sure. And I think that's where did the your sub and destroyer are destroyed that were in off Philippines. So how let's take a look at China. It buys 3 artillery, and like I said before, we're going to see a very strong China. We're already talking 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I just no 18, and reinforcements coming down from Sichuan and Shanxi as well as the Russians. And now we're going to see that the British can get involved. China is looking great. Feeling good about that.
yeah, looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think I think a couple of things. First of all, when Germany buys Navy and Japan decides to attack the Allies, I also think that is a scenario for where you can support China more with Russia. And I think that's
Yes.
extremely important because a J1 where you keep Yunnan, where Yunnan cannot be attacked, it is going to give Japan big troubles in China. And if China is under China control, it will be very difficult for Japan.
Excellent. Yes. All right. So the British buy an airfield, 1 artillery, and 3 infantry. The UK Pacific buys 2 mech and 2 infantry. And I'm sure there are some significant battles here, but let me go to the end, see what we have, and then we'll take a look. We should see, of course, that the British are supporting their Chinese allies in Yunnan, and they're aggressively moving forward into Burma. But there's enough held back that
If
that's
I
hopefully
can add if I can add one thing here, I
sure.
think Gamerman did a mistake because yeah, he allows me to use my transport to attack French Indochina because most likely he intended to build a factory there, but when
Ah,
I take it back, he can't do that. So he should have
very
put
good.
a blocker in CSON 37 to avoid that.
Very good. Very good. Well, way to pick up on that. You're right. They do build a lot of times I've seen a factory airbase and a factory and an airbase here. So powerful move. All right, so let's move over to and look at the European situation. We had a conservative push by the Germans, but he's retained a lot of his units, a strong naval presence. And here is what that Oysteilo has done to preserve the um, the fleet as is, and also to destroy his enemies. How are you feeling about the North Atlantic at this point in time?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, this is more or less a typical situation. I think it's not a bad situation for the Allies.
Right. I love. I've always said that as much as Sebastian is in the Med, at a moment's notice, Sebastian, this fleet here off of Gibraltar, a bastion. So Sebastian is what this is called, the 92, with some scrambling fighters. Uh, this is a defense of London because it can
Yes, it is.
react quickly.
But you also have to be very careful because you have to be able to keep Algeria, because if Italy takes Algeria, then Germany can bomb the fleet in 92, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's something you need to consider if you're going to do the Bastion strategy. You need to keep Algeria.
So this I don't know who came up with it, but certainly to the YouTube community, one of the people that introduced it was um, Gargantua, and in a video interview with our late brother, um, I can't remember the guy from New Jersey that I love so much. Um, and there was a policeman, and they introduced the Algerian snake, which is a purchase of three fighters, and then the Italians take over Algeria, and then the entire weight of the German Air Force descends upon the 92 fleet. So, but this is strong, and it's of course it's a forking move, and there's nothing we like better than a good forking move. To use a little bit of a pun there. Uh, and of course an air base. In the original version of 1940 Global, there was an air base placed in Gibraltar as well as Malta, but it was removed in the second edition. Egypt looks fairly strong. It's potentially could be attacked by 6 units, I think, or 5 units, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 units. Nope, six,
So,
seven units.
so
But it looks strong.
that's one reason why I bid the two infantries for Egypt and Sudan, because it will definitely help supporting Egypt on probably on Italy too.
Excellent. Okay. And you moved into just 76 in order to move those warships into the Med, I'm assuming later on. And that is it. Let's go to Italy. Italy purchased a mech and a sub. And then what's he do? Let's see what he does. Italy moves back to Tobruk, and then he kind of turtles a little bit. Easy catch for Greece, and leave. Oh, and then takes over southern Italy with southern France with strength. This is sort of a lot stronger than it has to be, uh, but he wants to make sure it happens and there's no repercussions. Now we move on to the Anzac Binding Infantry and a transport, and then down to the French moves. Let's see what they do. Let's see what Anzac does. Um, Anzac's going to take over Java, 2 infantry. It's gonna make sure that it's safe in New South Wales, protecting its capital, with 2 planes there. And then, oh, we did have a destroyer. Oh, this is the Anzac destroyer.
Yeah.
And the cruiser is
I think maybe it is
26.
in Hawaii.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's right. Yep. There it is. Okay. So, oh, and 1 plane is there as well for a complete, well, more than a complete scramble. So there you go. Good. All right. Anzac looks strong. And over here, we're holding fast. Um, so you left the infantry in Syria, so it couldn't be a quick, or wouldn't be effortless to take over Syria. And the French fighters stayed put. Yes, it did. All right, let's go. So at the end of round one, just to bring up our numbers, this is I mean, it's a good looking first turn with 192 to 119. Production is 165 versus 89. And of course, you have a plus 50, plus 60 units, plus 60 more units on the board than he does, and 451 more value. All right, let's go on to number 2. He purchases Germany purchases 1 artillery, 11 infantry, 2 mech, 3 subs. Okay, so wow. And then down here, let's see where they end up. So he is going to attack all the remaining ships, spreads out his navy, um, does not take out the destroyer, huddles quite a few units into Holland. And he has already got a home guard. I usually see that as a negative. He had to use a tank and some other forces to go into Normandy Bordeaux. That's slowing down the. Normally speaking, you would have six tanks in Germany at this point in time. His tanks are delayed. They are in Holland and in Normandy Bordeaux. So this does not seem like a real strong start for the Eastern Front. And you've got to be feeling pretty good as a Russian after this start.
So far, so good.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go with the Russians. So you do not bother to go full defensive. You've got your you've got your artillery. You're still buying artillery. You bought 5 mech, 3 infantry, um, and then let's see how you disposed your troops. And we've got you making the eastern. Oh, oh no, we're just trying to hang back.
Yeah.
And ready for the combats. And how many one transport there. 5 mech. Rostov. Okay, so Rostov, you have an eye on the Middle East, obviously.
Yeah, I think those units are going south eventually.
Sure.
Uh,
Spread of communism bonus.
yeah.
All right, and then we have a lot, a wow, a lot of Russian presence in Yunnan.
So
Uh,
we have a stack there, so that looks good.
yeah, it looks very good. Looks very strong. And of course, we're back into a more uh,
To
and
put pressure on Japan, so that's good.
Japan cannot be feeling good at this point in time. Not with a strong Yunnan. He doesn't have French Indochina for a base, and French Southeast Asia is a disaster for him. So this looks really. Let's see what he does. 1 factory, 4 infantry, 2 submarines, um, and let's see where he puts everything. Okay, so a lot of positioning here. He does take Malaya. He takes French Indochina back. He's got some, I believe they're exposed. His transports look like they're exposed. Yeah, they are exposed. And then he's got the 3 transports from turn 1 down in ready to pick up some units out of King C. Still deficient on in the air front. I mean, in the air war. Usually, this would almost be twice as many air units in Asia, and so he is feeling the pinch. Really not. This cannot do offensive operations. This is defensive. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and he's got to use his aircraft because he doesn't want to back off to the coast. Turn 2. What did he do with his huge fleet? He moved it back to Caroline. So as much as that looks okay, there's no transport in that fleet, and that was really, his being in Wake Island was a bit out of position. He does have 1 scrambling fighter on Caroline, um, and he does not have a blocker up for. Yeah, he does not have a blocker up for Japan with 6 infantry and 2 anti-aircraft, and he is garrisoning Manchuria. So this is a huge cost. Look at this. There's 4 aircraft in Manchuria because he can't get enough infantry into Manchuria. He's got to use these aircraft not for offense, but for defense. So this is a huge amount of pressure on Japan with no 1 money island so far. Nope, no 2 money islands. There's the other side of the fleet.
yeah.
So he has 2 money islands, sizable fleet here that's going to stand its ground. Okay, let's move on to the Americans. Another bomber, I like it. 2 destroyers, 1 sub, and 1 transport. Okay, and then I'm gonna. I don't. Let's go down to make sure. There's a battle in Korea. There's a battle in 123, and that's against Americans attack with 3 bombers, um, and then the submarines submerge, and the cruiser obviously gets killed with no battle casualties on the American side. Um, so let's take a look at the
I think
Atlantic.
I think
Yep.
the cruiser killed the bomber, didn't it?
Um, one bomber. Oh, you're right. A bomber was lost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's 12. There's no TUV chains because they're both $12. You're right. Very good. All right, let's take a look at the map. Um, so over here we have 123, uh, and this was the battle here. The cruiser was killed in. We still have a fairly strong North Atlantic fleet, but we've got two American bombers here with another one being placed, I would assume. Nope. Oh, I'm wrong. He got placed on the West Coast. Okay, and he placed a cruiser and a destroyer in the East Coast to buttress the. Oh, that did get taken out, right? Yep. All right, and the Americans are supporting Gibraltar. Trying to see the American soldiers.
I think there are two of them there,
Yep,
but
two in Gibraltar. It's hard to see. Right there, they are. It's a little. It's a. The
very
fighters
difficult to
particularly.
see.
The fighters particularly are sometimes hard to see with the flags
Yeah.
this way. Anyways, so then let's look at the Pacific. Korea has been seized by the Americans, and because there's one warship, you can ignore these submarines. There's no scrambling fighters. And I'm assuming, have a large fleet still in 26 that's building even stronger with an extra aircraft or two off Hawaii. All right, looks good. Americans looks good. Let's take a look at the fabulous Chinese that I'm assuming are looking very strong. Three artillery, one infantry, and the Burma Road is still going to be open. So we are talking about the initial bid saving us $7 the first turn. This is now turn 2, and China is ahead by 14. And of course, they also own Guangxi, which they would never own. So you can easily see how China is ahead by $15, cumulatively from the start of the game. That's going to make a huge difference with pressure from the Americans in the east, Russians in the north, and the combined Russians and British from the south. Or Germany, you usually, a lot of times you think about one side wins the game. Well, if we were talking about one side wins the game, the Germans have got to win this game because the Japanese are not going to be winning this game. Um, okay, so then we do see Britain spending $5 on technology. They miss, and it's removed. The token is removed. The British buy another airfield and a minor factory. They also buy an infantry and artillery and 4 infantry. Okay, and if there's any significant battles you do want to review, let me know. But I'm mostly interested right now in position. But if you can think of any battles, that we had a battle in 37, we had a battle in 118, we had a battle in French Indochina, another battle in 123 to actually kill that sub that survived last time. And this is the way that look at Yunnan. I mean, it is impregnable. I mean, you can't even imagine this like changing for, for a long, long time. Um,
And it's
so
also good way to protect India, I think. So if you're
yes,
going to attack India, you need to use all your transports, which is probably difficult to do.
yes, true that. All right, and you still have a significant infantry presence, ground presence in India as well. It's a pretty amazing position, I think. And then the India, Egypt looks great. Now, this movement here, so I remember I talked about how Jebastion was actually a fortification for um, London. It now is not so much, but it protects Egypt and, of course, becomes a huge thorn in the side to I'm really trapping this fleet where it is with two transports and some aircraft and an air base as well. I mean, this
So,
fleet has
so
got it. Yep,
if I can add in here, I think this move, moving the fleet to 98 is it's okay, but I think that this is the first move I do where I'm giving London away in round 5. If that fleet was positioned in a different place, London would be much safer.
good.
So this is not necessarily an error, but it's
Yep,
not optimal play because I don't support London good enough in the
right.
long run.
And I do like this move right here, this position for aircraft carriers. They can quickly supply Bryansk. So I've had times where I build a factory in Egypt, build 3 planes, have 2 aircraft carriers, and just ferry units. And I
Yeah,
try what I call a Bryansk forward defense. In other words, you're not depending on the 10 infantry from Moscow to hold the ground. You're actually depending on Lend-Lease fighters from England from CZone 98. But you're right. So London now looks a little more exposed, particularly with, like I said, this very strange configuration in Holland. Um, anyways, let's keep going. The Italians buy a destroyer and a sub, so they are responding. Another great, um, this is an arms race between these two powers right here. Now that's got a, the downside is that the British have to keep buying and supplying this fleet, but the upside is that Italy can't build more can openers. So let's see where they end up, and they are, you know, they are occupying this area. I don't think we're not even Italy. A lot of times we'll go into Russia at this point in time. It does not. It is standing its ground and kind of. I'm not exactly sure why so many units in Yugoslavia. Did he not have Yugoslavia? No, just moving out of Greece. Okay, moving forward out of Greece, trying to get as far north as possible. Okay, well, let's go. Anzac spends $5. Now this was a bit of a head scratcher for me. Um, I was trying to think of what technology um,
I think what I
would.
wanted to develop was shipyards.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be the one that in Anzac would actually make quite a difference. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right.
So,
You buy a fighter and an infantry, and then and let's look at your the way that it disposes your troops. So 2 infantry in France, in 2 French infantry in London. The French fighter is now down in Gibraltar. Uh, the French units are still holding fast, and now there's French units and the Anzac units are or headed toward Egypt. And they are taking away your bonus here, but you're not, you don't seem to be particularly troubled by that. You've
those
got,
units are going, they're going away eventually anyway, so they're just a distraction right now. It's
exactly.
not a big deal.
Good, good. You do have your Anzac forces. Oh, that's a French. One of them's French, one of them's Anzac. 2 destroyers in the Indian Ocean. And then you've lost, the Anzac out of Malaya was lost. Java, those were lost, but you have been able to secure Dutch New Guinea. That's going to earn you some good money, and you're holding fast in New South Wales. And I believe this ship is probably up here still with the fleet in
Yeah.
26. All right, let's take a look at the money in number 2. You are still soaring. Usually 140 is the red zone for the Axis, 145, but he's not even into Russia yet, and you are just towering above him in a lot of ways. All right, let's take a look at turn 3, where the Germans purchase let's see, a destroyer. Let's see here. 5 infantry, 6 mech, 1 destroyer, and 1 artillery. All right. And just going to take a look at combat. They're going to strategically bomb UK. And there is another battle in Season 123. That's pretty funny. There's almost never a battle there. And there's been 3 battles there this game. 114 also has a battle. But let's take a look at how the Germans position themselves in the end of. So I'm going to be looking at you, Holland. Okay, so there's still infantry in France. I mean, usually I've played a game where I put nothing in France um, because honestly, no one ever. I mean, obviously, it's a reactionary force if you don't want them to take Normandy and southern France, and you do have transports available down here. There's a transport as well as a transport here in 98. But infantry. And then remember, he built 10 infantry last turn. This is a slow moving German army. This is horse drawn.
Yeah.
I would think you're feeling pretty good as Russia right now.
I'm not worried about Russia at all. Looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then Russia does spend 5. It doesn't get a dollar. It doesn't get a hit. He does buy 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and 8 infantry. All right. And we're going to see some movement, I think, this time as they are now at war, and the forces that can spread communism move into northwest Persia, and the forces in Yunnan, not only are they in Yunnan, they're able to recapture Malaya, which is just, um, you know, amazing that Russia is able to make such a difference. They're also recaptured Hong Kong.
Well,
Just
I think, yeah. They did recapture Hong Kong. That's right.
yeah, yeah. And then they are obviously supporting the Korean invasion, the American invasion of Korea. It looks dire for the Japanese, I would say. You are a fierce proponent of you're a master at KJF. Uh, okay, so I mean, you look strong. You look there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not sure you have to like a lot of times you would back away. I don't know if you have to back away. You have more infantry than he does, and
I, I also
mo-
think that if I give him like 50% odds on the battle,
yep,
uh, I think that's okay to do. I
yeah,
don't think we should be afraid of doing that. And most likely, Gamerman is a better player than I am. So if I give him 50% chance on a battle, it's more risk for him than for me, I think.
very good. And of course, those anti-aircraft are such a wild card. I mean, times where every one of them misses, and then times when you get a good solid portion of the attackers. So Russia's looking fantastic. All right, let's keep going. How do the Japanese size up? Japanese do buy a tech dice. They buy an armor, an artillery, destroyer, a mech, a sub, and 2 transports. Okay, I'm a little surprised at the transport builds. I've already done this, so I shouldn't be. But and he takes up Sumatra, Celebes, so he's got the Money Islands. He has a battle in Season 6 with the units there. Takes out that transport and destroyer, I think. And then Season 45, I can't exactly remember what that is. Kwichao Falls, Kwangtung, Rangsi, Korea. Let's take a look. He did go into Korea. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
I think this battle is more or less the only one that's worthwhile mentioning in this round because
Yes.
uh, there is an error here. Uh, I don't quite remember right now, but some of my units did not fire.
No kidding.
And Ted and I, we were able to sort it out. Um, and we moved forward because I think the two American units, there were, I don't quite remember now, but there were some Allied units that did not fire for several rounds, and we adjusted the results.
I can see it. I can see it
Yeah,
right here that the Americans roll for the they rolled for the Russians, but the American soldiers did not roll. Americans
yeah.
roll for 18 infantry. There's more than 18 in there. There was 20 infantry in there. A very good catch. 9 lost for each side in the first round. Japanese take out 6. You're now 4 dice behind.
So
And
this
you took out 4. Oh, yep.
this was a very poor result for me. I think
Yes.
I
Yep.
had the advantage on the battle calculator,
Yep.
but still he yeah, just blew me away. But
Yep.
that's how it is, so no worries about that.
Sure. Okay, that's a tragedy right there. That last round where you could have got 2 more, which would have cost him airplanes, and he loses a single. Um, and then like there. So I think you were 6, maybe 8 dice behind. Yeah,
Yeah. So that was a really poor result, but
yeah.
we
Well,
adjusted the numbers by just averaging the units that did not fire.
gotcha. All right. Kui Chao falls, and then Quang Si earlier down here, and then so the great thing, you see this battle and you think, well, okay, now this front is opened up, and that's certainly true. But I always think to myself, where do the Japanese want to be? They do not want to be in Sea Zone 6. They do not want to be fighting over Korea. They do not want to be have their navy so far north. Um, so you've got them in my book completely out of position. Although Gamerman has managed to do and check some pretty big boxes with grabbing the Money Islands and the Philippines.
Yeah.
Um, so very good, very good. Okay, so America spends $10 on tech rolls. It buys a carrier, 1 destroyer, fighter, 2 subs, and 2 transports. Um, and combat, there's only combat moves. Let's go down here, see where the Americans end up. And by the way, if you're thinking through this, uh, if Korea stays like it was in the Allied hands, how disastrous is that for instance, Sea Zone 6? Um, so it seems to me that he, that that if he wanted to not have a complete collapse of his northern front, that probably or just his unit stuck, that was probably something he needed to do.
Yeah,
Given,
he needed to do that attack, but I think on average he should lose. I'm not saying a bunch of planes, but at least some planes.
yep,
And if I could made that happen, that he lost maybe 3 or 4 planes, then it would be probably worth it.
right, very good. All
But
right,
he
so there,
survived with 2 land units.
yeah. So then you've got your fleet here. You do not have a transport in that fleet, but you have your transports coming right behind um, as you try to now keep this fleet as occupied as possible. Um, all right, and again, Ted is demonstrating some great skill in both having a fleet that's spread out. You don't see this as much. A person confident enough to spread their fleet in 35, in 41, as well as in Sea Zone 6. He does
So
have 1 factory, and that's only 1 factory. Go ahead.
so he's very good at playing right here because, like you say, he's spreading out his fleet, but the reason why he can do that is because he's forcing me to stay at Hawaii.
Ah, gotcha. Good, good, good. All right, and let's see what you did on the East Coast. I'm just going to open up this. On the East Coast, let's see what you did. You are strengthening Gibraltar, um, and we're seeing some warships right there to counter this 112 fleet. He is convoying Lend-Lease, does have scrambling fighters there, but the Americans do have bombers as well as British.
Now, yeah, we are doing United States now, exactly. So
Yes, yep,
let's take a look at the British buys when that comes into to play for
okay.
this round.
All right, the British spend $5 and they roll a 2. They buy armor, artillery, 2 infantry, and 2 mech. UK Pacific buys 3 infantry. There's a fight in Tanganyika to eliminate those pesky Italians in the south, Kwang
Mhm.
Tung, Iraq. And the final disposition of troops is
But
here.
I bet none of the units I buy go into London.
Ah, okay. All right. So we're still talking about um, 12 with 4 damage on the factory, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 units in London. Um, well, I got to say that as much as 17 is not a ton of units, um, I
But
don't
there are
think,
no fighters there. There are no fighters there.
right. I don't think I would have saw it. I don't think I would have saw it coming. If usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 infantry. The infantry is always the sneaky thing for me. If I can spot a contingent of infantry in this area, then I'm like, he's thinking about London. But this looks, I mean, like I said, having infantry in Paris turn 3 is a head scratcher. Um, someone who's overly cautious or someone who's being sneaky.
Sneaky is the right word.
Yeah, someone who's being sneaky. All right. So, but London looks, I mean, Egypt looks great. Uh, you went back to Sebastian. I mean, it looks huge. Um, I guess that destroyer could have come in to strengthen that. Uh, so we're going to have to be looking for a scramble here, and I think the issue that I'm seeing is that if you scramble into Sebastian and you get unlucky, now now London it really is pretty naked. I mean, as is, London has 1, 2, 3 fighters plus these transports. Well, to reinforce if you can keep them. Nope, no, you can't because okay, so he can bring his force down here and hit this. So he can do a double hit, hit this and hit this, and all of a sudden London is naked. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. I want to take a look at the Middle East real quick. So you are in the Middle East, but you're not trying to take this. You're trying to leave this for the spread of communism bonus.
So I think Russia is going to attack it next round.
Yes, yes, yes. So do you at all maybe is this the Tanganyika thing? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. The Italians buy a bomber and a sub. And what are they going to do? They're not going to do anything. All right, let's take a look. Okay, bomber and sub. That is offensive units. He is now a porcupine. Transport, 1 transport. not too much effect with that. But man, he's got some pointy items.
It's
Uh,
gonna Navy.
yep. He does have can openers in East Poland and some infantry that are lingering in Balkans. Okay, let's keep going. And Zach buys artillery and a sub, and then down here for cleanup. Let's take a look down here. And you buy a sub. You're still okay. So I'm trying to figure out why you're are you I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out why you're staying in New South Wales, particularly those fighters. Can you tell us why you're a little nervous about
I think
maybe Australia?
I don't think there's really a big reason why I stay in New South Wales because my navy is still in Hawaii. So that means maybe they don't do much different if they stay in Queensland. If my
Okay.
navy stayed in the Queensland sea zone, obviously the units would move up.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, I don't think there is much more to it than just that.
Okay, cool. Okay. So round four is the big round. Nope, that's not the big round. The Germans buy two fighters. Oh, let's take a look at the money just at the end here. You're still, I think, just gangbusters. He's now at 123, but you're at 189. You're still above him by production by almost $45. Uh, uh,
Yeah, we're quite
and
happy with that.
yeah, your numbers are all looking fantastic. Almost $70 there, a little less than 65-ish. Um, so all your numbers are making you happy, and let's see what the Germans are going to do. Two fighters, three infantry, five mechs. So this, when I first saw this did cause me to scratch my head. Um, there's a battle in the Baltic states, a battle in Novgorod, a battle in Vyborg. But let's look at the final positioning. So, normally speaking, a disciplined German would be buying fast movers and not quite fighters yet, maybe mechs or on the cheap or tanks. But we have him buying this variety of units. I mean, still buying infantry. I mean, again, the infantry are lingering in Paris for no apparent reason. Um,
So he has infantry all over the place, and I
yeah,
think that's going to be important at some point.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. Norway is covered. All right. And so here is I mean, I do see, some real brilliance here with this um, division of units, because obviously you cannot attack him. He's Poland, but he's got this. I mean, this is not normally what you see. You usually see a blob. This would usually be 34, but he's got this southern thrust, and these are all horse-drawn units. This is all slow movers.
Yeah.
Um, it's very complex. And then he also did something very unconventional, let the Italians take Ukraine. Uh, what are you thinking? What are you thinking as you see this German advance?
Yeah, well, I'm not too worried about it really, and I think that he takes Ukraine with Italy. That's fine. I'm not
Yeah,
going to, I don't think I will reclaim Ukraine because Italy can't really field or fuel that factory anyway. So it
right.
means less German units in Russia. So yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
And
especially on the assault on Moscow, the Ukraine factory is a gold mine because you put, three more units directly onto Moscow, and
exactly.
he gave it up. He gave it up.
And if I can stay in Belarus, I'm quite happy with that because that's a good position to be if Russia can stay there. They shouldn't be able
Excellent.
to stay there, but so far they are. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to camp there.
All right, and you purchase 9 infantry and 2 mech. Okay, and then you go down here. You do have, I believe, a spread of communism bonus. This is $2 plus additional 3, and you've got a fighter down here, and you are just happy as a lark camping out in Belarus. You've got your reserve force, um, and you are. I think you brought back some units from your adventure in the east,
Yeah,
but they've
because
succeeded at what they
they're not,
wanted to do.
yeah, they're not required in Yunnan anymore, so they can go back to Russia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. And the north, we are. They are not yet. They are not yet in Amor. They will be, but you're fine with losing a few because of. I mean, Iraq takes over 5 different territories. Replaces those 5 territories that are out in the east. So, all right, you look in great position. The Japanese, in turn, they buy 1 carrier, 9 infantry, 2 mech, and 1 sub. So we are looking to see how he's going to get these units onto the mainland. Because although he's got lots of transports, he only has 1 factory. We are going to see him collect some money. Let's see what he collected. He went to $58. Okay, let's see what the Japanese did. Particularly want to see his ships. So they're off 37. 37 is a great spot for the Japanese. It's a great forking move, both on the Philippines as well as Queensland, as well as India. However, it can be sniped by air units out of uh, either 54 or out of Queensland. Okay, he also has another Navy that's in the Carolines. That is a strong Navy. I think he even has a third Navy. This Navy is a building Navy. Okay, so he has lost almost all of Southeast Asia, and the battle for China is, I mean, look at this coast. I mean, empty Suyuan, empty Hopai, empty Anhui, 1 infantry at Hunan, and Guangxi is back in Chinese hands. So this Korean expedition has been very, very costly, and he's only has 1 infantry in Kwangtung. So it is a tough situation for the Japanese.
So even though that the Korea battle went poorly for me, it still gives some value to China because it becomes harder for him to take down China after that battle.
That's right. I mean, if we just looked at the number of, it's one of my one of my first videos I posted on YouTube. I counted the number of Japanese infantry. Now I know artillery and mechs are also ground units, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. There are 11 Japanese infantry on the mainland. Um, that is not a lot.
No,
When you so where are okay, so let's go to the Americans. The Americans spend some money. I believe they get a technology, heavy bombers, making you look like a genius right now, because your purchase of bombers turn 1 and turn 2, just 2 destroyers, 1 fighter, 5 submarines. I think
but
someone
no heavy bombers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, no more bombers. Okay, so you do have a battle on Sea Zone 6, and then we're going to go down here to placing your units and where do you put your stuff? Okay, so the Atlantic has so far been fine. It's been contested, but it's been fine. And there are, okay, so there used to be some transports there. I think they're probably back on the East Coast. And 106 is, I don't remember. Oh, was this were you killing a sub in 106?
I
Uh,
don't remember. Maybe.
I'm just going to move it around. I want to see what happened there. I don't see a sub.
No.
Non-combat moves. It was in a non-combat move, and you chose to choose it to throw it to 106. Does he have live units up here? No, no German units. Huh. Any
Uh,
idea why you moved to 106?
uh,
It's
I
fine. It's been a long time. I mean,
think maybe it is because they're not safe at Gibraltar.
okay. Okay. All right. You're afraid of the double tap. Okay. All right.
And I don't remember right now why I did
Sure.
it.
Yep.
I do remember that I was doing it for a reason.
Sure, sure. And the bombers are now all in Gibraltar, heavy bombers, by the way. And then the Americans are in the east. I mean, in the Pacific. Over here, they are. There's a bit of a. This is what I call trench warfare in the Pacific, where it's fleet versus fleet, and it's
Yeah.
a bit of an arms race. He has Caroline reinforced, by the way. It's not just the way it was. So it's a bit of an arms race, and I think he seems like he's fine with that. Oh, I didn't see that he had taken Siberia, which of course is going to quickly get him the $5 that. All right, and it also, of course, threatens the Aleutians. And you purchased 5 submarines to sort of tip the balance and get it in your favor. Okay, let's go with the Chinese. Chinese purchased 5 infantry, and let's go with China. And again, China's just going to look like a boss. It's now has a huge force in Anhui. That force can be attacked, but again, that's going to be an expenditure of what? Of Japanese infantry. And he's taking back Suiyuan, Hopai, Anhui, Hunan, and Guangxi. It's desperate times in China. All right, and for the Japanese, you buy a bomber with the um, and 3 subs. And this is where you say to yourself, "Man, I wish I had bought some infantry for London." Uh, UK Pacific buys 3 artillery, um, and then no combat. Let's see how you change. Okay, so your India is strong. I mean, it's strong. It's doesn't look like it's being threatened. He does have a naval base here. So 1, 2, 3, he can hit Burma. Uh, he has one ground unit out of Malaya. Doesn't look like anything serious. So, I mean, we've got some British fighters up in Anhui to help the defense of Anhui. Um,
To be able to position in the Anway is, I think it's a really big thing because then you're threatening all the coastline.
right, the transports that right now are naked, and all of a sudden, because you're in Anhui, they are very, very
Yeah,
exposed.
he needs to support his transport, so he can't just leave them unprotected.
I believe Gamerman has bought as many as 5 or 6 transports this game. So this
Yes.
is his main way of resupplying the coast. And if you get an American sub or airplanes in Anhui, they are going to be very exposed. All right, did I take a look at Egypt? Okay, so Egypt. Oh, Egypt is okay. So you did put 3 subs into 98. He bought one last time in a fighter, I think, and you now have 3 more subs. You got the scrambling air fighters, and obviously this arms race here. I guess I would also call this a bit of a trench warfare. We do see, however, that the Italians have captured Cyprus, and the British are moving up to Syria. I'm assuming. Well, actually, can you explain that the Syrian move? I'm not sure why you did that. Are you
Uh,
afraid of him invading Syria? And oh, to invading Syria to take away the spread of communism bonus.
I think it has to do with that he can, uh, yeah, I'm not sure right now because it's been
Okay,
a while, but it could
sure.
be to protect the Russians in Iraq.
I have seen that before where they're people will attack the Middle East in order to rob the right, because if the Russians get too many of those, it's disastrous. Okay, and then the British in London, no more damage on the factory, but things are just the same as they were, and that will end up being troublesome. Two destroyers for the Italians, and the Italians are still collecting $19. So this looks like it can just keep going forever. And I'm sure they don't do much except for sit there. They don't. They only have one transport, and they're not doing. They could have got Bryansk right, but they didn't. Um, and they're walking their way from Romania. So, hmm. All right. So the Italian bomber, they're occupying Holland, Belgium. Interesting. All right, let's go at the Anzac by one destroyer, one sub. And let's see the cleanup. Okay, French fighters back in London. We're happy to see that. And uh, Anzac is still there. No, Anzac is over there. It's in Iraq now. And then that is a French destroyer. And oh, whoa! I did not see that. The
No,
Japanese.
he likes to do things like that.
The
Uh,
Japanese have a carrier, fighter, and diver in 75, which, if you didn't know, can actually hit India. Huh. No transport.
but no transport, so it's sort of yeah. It
And that's just,
doesn't
yeah.
threaten any land areas, but obviously it's very annoying with that carrier and the planes down there.
Hmm. Probably trying to pull a few units out of that 98. Focus your attention here when you should be focused here.
Exactly.
Okay, so Anzac is looking strong. It's convoying out of 42, and it can play a little bit of a skirmish war as maybe the Japanese shed a destroyer. No, there's no destroyer there. They do have three destroyers, so they could shed a destroyer to 42 and play a bit of a skirmish match with the Anzacs. All
Right.
right, good. It's I mean, again, your numbers are looking fantastic. He's at 136. He's creeping up, but you're still holding ground at 181. Still huge as far as numbers, differentials. And we are into the crucial round 5. And he buys 8 transports. And we don't really care about the combats. There is an air battle in UK. There's a bombing raid. That's a pain in the butt, but it's crucial. And let's see how he looks. And all is revealed. Um, 9 transports, 2 subs, 16 damage on the factory, for a British income of 30 one IPCs. He's going to have to repair half that in order to get some units on that mainland. So tough choices right here. He does have 2 and 6, 8 units, 8 grounders. Not 9, but he does have 8. He
So yeah.
has artillery.
So
Okay, I'm I'm
has
confused.
he has two in infantry, two infantry in Norway. He has one in Germany. He has six in Western Germany, and he has is it no the in Holland
Oh, I
Italians, right?
forgot. He can go backward.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I did not see that. He can go backward 112 to 113 to 112 to 110 because he's got a naval
Yeah.
base. Gotcha. Wow.
So he can load all his transports.
Very good. He still has the 4 planes. He bought 2 fighters a little bit ago. That should have been a head scratcher.
Yeah.
or at least something which. So okay, all right. So the Russians, they spend 10 on tech. They get 2 hits.
Yeah. Unfortunately, 2 hits. I
Oh my
only get one
goodness.
tech though.
Wow. Okay. You get war
But
bonds, which is
but war,
excellent.
yeah, bonds is really good for Russia.
Love
So
war
I've been
bonds.
averaging like maybe three or four, probably 4 or 5 dollars each round on that, because we also have an agreement that war bonds are +1. So if I roll a one,
Oh, neat. Okay.
two,
Yep.
and likewise if I roll a 6, I get 7.
Very good.
So that's
All
a good
right.
test for
So
Russia.
very good. And we are going to see a bit of a stalemate on the Eastern Front, I would assume, for a while. He just dropped those transports. Uh, so although you now know that, um, you let's see, what did you buy? You bought 4 artillery and 2 infantry. Do you?
Yep.
How much did you have to spend? Oh, you spent money on
I spent 10
the
on
tech.
technology.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. And then you got $6 from the war bonds. You also got $2, $3 for 2 spread of communism. You got $42.
So that's
And
pretty
let's
good.
see if that's very good. All right. It's going to replace some income. Okay. So the Japanese buy a carrier and a destroyer, and a sub. Love to see that. And 8 infantry and 1 mech for Asia. Um, they will do battle in Soviet Far East, New Britain, Malaya, 42 C zone on way. Um,
Look at the battle in Anway.
excellent. That's right. This is a big one. That's right. This is a big one. So he needed to attack this because it's just too dangerous. But again, 6 Japanese infantry. I mean,
If
he
you run
should be losing.
if you run the battle
Japan.
calculator, if you run the
Okay.
battle calculator, what does it say?
Well, that's a good question. Let me see if I can even do that in history. I can actually. Uh, Attacker wins 78% of the time with an average left of 4.75.
And
So,
minus nine TUV.
right, right. Yep. And mine is average -9 TUV. So he should be losing every single ground unit and probably 1 plane or so. Let's see what happens. Okay, that is an excellent roll for him. His threes are a little on the weak side, but besides that, okay. So wow, that's not great. So out of 16 dice, you should have got 5 hits just with three into 15. Yeah, 5 hits. You should have got 5 hits. You got 4. You didn't get the hit for the 3, and you didn't get that. So you're down 1 or 2 dice there for
Yeah,
sure.
it's not horrible, but it's not great.
No, and look at that. That
Look
is
at that.
fantastic rolls. And you, again, 8 dice, you should be getting almost 3. And then you miss with the 3. The 3 might as well not have been there. And the Japanese are, and the final fighter misses. Oh boy.
So what is the average score here?
Okay, let me see. TUV change is 54.
And it should have been -9.
Yep, and it should have been minus 9. Man. Yep. Yep. All right, let's go down to
So that was
we
a
do
big
have
blow for me.
that was between that battle and the Korean battle. That is some tough stuff right there. You did
Right.
take away $3 to damage. I am a big proponent of submarines, and so I want to always congratulate the submariners for their work. Japan loses $3 and collects 55. Anything less than 60 is a good. Oh, there we go. The Americans buy 6 bombers, heavy bombers. Okay, let's go. And there's a battle on season 5. which has got to be up here. Nice. Oh, nothing like he loses $3 to a convoy, and then the Americans take away 7. That is a submariner earning his wages. 47. I don't know where that is. 47.
It's in the Pacific somewhere.
There it is. There,
Mhm.
another sub picking off now this one's a toughie because he's taken away $7, but this guy is going to be able to now take away a $5 bonus. So that's a smart move on his part. Um, let's keep going down to the American objectives. And the Americans have moved to 54. Okay, huge fleet in 54 with 3 loaded transports aimed at the Money Islands with the timid Anzac fleet now going to be able to join with him and join and become the massive blob that it has to be. But the Johnsons still have a sizable fleet, and there is no reinforcements now being placed on the board for the Pacific. They need to survive on their own, and he's hoping to pull this fleet out of that area and make the battle for the South Pacific. Very good. Anything in Europe? Okay, so Europe, he is fortifying Gibraltar and obviously preparing for the looming disaster that's on its way. Now, obviously, those bombers are a powerful force. More, they guarantee. I think I would assume they guarantee the destruction of those 9 transports, which means that he will not be able to use those transport to resupply the United Kingdom. Is that a correct analysis?
Yes, I think that is correct. And I only have one option here. I need to kill those transports. If I don't kill those transports, the game is over.
I agree totally. It's and you are looking strong in so many areas. It is crazy to think that yeah, you're going to lose this, but you are so
Because
strong in Russia. It's amazing.
another point is if those transports survives, of course he can ship units from United Kingdom to Germany or wherever, but you can also buy infantry and ship it to Leningrad and to Russia instead
Yeah,
of buying fast movers. So that gives him
gotcha.
more units.
Very good. I hadn't thought of that. That's very good. He can kill Russia on the cheap. Very good. All right, 3 artillery and 2 infantry for the Chinese. I always find that, and the Burma Road is going to be held, obviously. Now, here is where I would say there's a limiting factor to the success of China. So I think all players ought to be aware that China can go gangbusters. And I've seen games with champions where China gets out of control and the Japanese player still kicks butt. Um, so obviously he got very unlucky in Anhui. This is a great forward position for China. But the question I have is, as I look at this, is how does this help England? How does this help India? Um, and obviously they can go into Burma, uh, but they can also obviously, just they start taking over some of these very juicy territories, Shantung, Kingxi, Manchuria. We're talking about financial ruin for the Japanese. But I mean, China looks great.
Yeah. And if China fights Jiangsu, you also fight one victory city, so it makes
Ah,
harder to accomplish the victory cities.
right. One of the paths to victory is 6 victory cities in the Pacific. And if you are endangering Kiangsu as well as Hong Kong, I mean, that is problematic. You've got to win in another way. And that means either, take over London, take over Moscow, or an economic victory. But of course, looking at Pacific economic victory, I think is off the table as well. So his paths to success are being limited by Japan's troubles in China. Okay, so you do repair. So this, by the way, we're going to see a man whose back is against the wall. So Oystelo's back is now against the wall. He's got those transports coming in. Probably he's done the battle board and thinking he's going to take. He's very likely going to succeed in conquering UK. He's going to have the $30. Um, and how can I get in 4, 5 turns, make sure that I get back to London. And so you repair 12 damage, and that's going to buy you 5 infantry and 1 mech. Okay, and then UK Pacific buys 2 infantry and 1 mech. Collects UK Pacific collects 10, and how do you? Okay, so everything is in Jabastion. So this is telling me that that if you can get these 92, that this island is going to be surrounded, and you're going to own the North Atlantic. That's not going to be an issue anymore. How you're going to react to a very strong Navy here. If this Navy is able to succeed and slip out of the Med, all of this investment has been for nothing. Because he's only got 1 transport, and Egypt is extremely powerful. So I am foreseeing an attack. I've already done this, and I think it's coming. I'm pretty sure it's coming. But I guess the question I think all of us have is, will England scramble? But obviously, did you know the odds on this? Do you have any idea of the odds on this?
I don't
On 92?
remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
All right, let's see what happens. I think we reviewed everything. You've brought everything back up. You've got where'd those transports go? The transports have come over. Nope, I'm not sure where those transports went.
I think didn't I think they were killed by Japan.
Ah, they were killed by Japan. That's why the sneaky transport that's aircraft carrier. Ah, clever, very clever, Ted. You're a dog. You're a dog. Evil. All right, I think this is where we're gonna have to watch the combat. Okay, and this one, just to let you all know, this was probably done on the internet on
Yeah, I think it was on the.
accessknowledge.org, and I don't remember how lucky or unlucky you got.
I think he got unlucky there.
Okay, so here is, I'm going to do the battle map just to show you, and we'll do 3 scrambling fighters. I think they're all fighters.
Yeah.
And it's calculated. Um, and the attacker should win 19% of the time. So he's done a huge investment. The British Navy is about to get away from him. Those ships are going to be shiny and worthless. Except they will be collecting a $5 bonus if he's able to escape the Med. But that is not what Ted wants. Ted wants to stop him from reinforcing, and that is the situation. It is, I
So
believe you survived with 3 fighters.
yeah.
But the ships are gone, and his ships are gone.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that little trench warfare is over in the Allied favor, and so obviously we're going to see a much diminished Italy monetarily pretty soon. He does still have a lot on the border here, but I just don't see these guys as being effective fighting force. It's just these are really here defensively. Uh, so here we go. The Anzac buys an artillery, an infantry, and a transport. Okay, any significant combats? There's a 42 sea zone and a battle in Java, and you take over Java from the Japanese. That is a great moment right there, where you can not only are they battling you in the north in central China, but Now you're able to snipe his Java away. Very good. Okay, we have 3 carriers and 4 infantry purchased by 3 carriers. Okay, so he is more than willing to fight you
So
for
he's going to
those
so he's going to save his transports, at least
he's
trying
going
to
to
save
try
his
to
men.
save his transports. Now that's a gambit. That is a pretty serious gambit. Because I mean, I'm looking at it. He's got 5 fighters. I mean, you know, as much as you're trying to save the transports, you start killing off your airplanes, that's a win for you. If he loses 1 airplane, he is putting his offensive punch at great risk. So I'm okay. So let's see what happens. Obviously, you probably scrambled 1 fighter, I would assume. Um,
I don't think I did that.
okay. There's some sort of fight in 110. What is it?
Maybe I did scramble one. I don't.
Defend with
Yeah,
what? French defend with a fighter. I generally there's no uh, battleship or cruiser here for bombardments, but what there is the wild possibility that somehow he'd get lucky, and the Germans would have to keep back some fighters in order to support the carrier and 2 subs. Okay, so the battle for the UK, and this is, I think, straight out of the box. This is straight done by the computer. It's done it well, I think. Let's
yeah.
see what happens. So there is 1 shot down. So you are consistently shooting down 1. That is pretty good dice for him. 11 hits, and that is terrible dice for you. Wow, that's rough. So that should have been 14 dice. Should have been almost 5. Should have been guaranteed 4, and you only get 3. So that is 3 versus 11. 10 more hits, and out of the 8 dice. So 8, you had 22 dice. You should have got 7 hits,
I got 4.
and you ended up with 4. That is that's frustrating. That's going to delay the retaking of the island. If he had only if you had 7 hits, that that ends up being much more significant. Germans win. I just want to see what they won it with. Um, infantry. Somewhere it usually says they won with this many survivors. Okay, let's see. Novgorod's taking over. Let's go down here. They're looking pretty good for money. Obviously, let's collapse this
Obviously.
panel. Okay, so he is left with 7. So he should have 3 less than this. So he should have 3 infantry there, 10 units altogether, and he has placed 8 units in the. So, all right, let us
Yeah.
see how he does it. So this is holding ground. Um, how does Russia respond? 1 bomber, 3 artilleries, 2 infantry, and 3 mech. So, okay, so this seems like you're planning the long game. He does have a lot of money, $83, plus 5, I think. Let's just check. Nope,
Nice.
$93.
So it's ridiculous.
Yep, yep, that's tough. So up against it, the Russians now, as much as they are making 40 some dollars, are up now facing an uphill challenge. Um, any significant combats? Novgorod, you're going to squabble over Novgorod, Baltic states, and then you're going to collect. Okay, you're going to collect some decent money with Lend Lease.
Yeah.
$57. Okay, let's check that out. That's got to be examined. Um, I mean, that is amazing. That To me, you look at Germany's 93 is a one-time deal. That's a $30 bonus. He's making actually $63, and you're making $57.
So of course I have some compensation, of course.
Ethiopia, Tobruk. Um, I mean, unless something disastrous like the fall of India, I think you're really looking really good. Sorry. But this is
That's all right.
that's what you were thinking, right? All right. Japanese buy two destroyers combats. Okay, so here is. I mean, I didn't even see it coming. I mean, I've been looking at this board. I think you and we've all been looking at this board, and this is where you just don't see it coming. He does have,
Well, it is just a mistake. I mean, you see, I have
yes,
the guys in Burma, so yeah. When I did the
so
practice run, I think I even moved some of my units back into India, but I forgot during
yep,
when I did it online. So it's just sloppy play by me.
sure, and it's a gambit. It's a
But
short term gain for him. He slows you down for 2 turns of purchase. He gets a bunch of money, and it's a nice. It's got to be a good feeling when he takes London and India the same turn. So
it has to be a good feeling for him to take London and India in the same turn. But
yeah,
the India battle isn't so obvious. I mean, I think he has 2 infantry and 2 planes. I think that's all he has that can reach. So it's not a super safe battle for him to do.
yep, it's going to be tight. Let's go see how tight it gets. So you've had four battles. You've had 3 battles out of the past 5 battles. You've been unlucky in 4 of them. He's been unlucky in 1 of them. So let's see how this goes. French Indochina, India. Okay, here it is. I'll open up the right panel, and Japan attacks. An anti-aircraft obviously is kind
I don't think I have an AA gun there.
right. You don't, and that's where I would sort of, I'd want to chide you and say, what were you thinking?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
an anti-aircraft gun, even 1 of them in India,
It
um,
would have saved the day.
yeah, could have been really helpful, and it might have prevented them from even doing it, honestly. But the Japanese do not roll well. I mean, 1 hit
No.
out of 4. Now you're thinking this is awesome, and
So
then you get
if I got a double hit, it would be pretty good.
that would be awesome, and yet it's 1 for 1. We go to second. He only gets 1 hit again. You are still in this in a big way, and you miss both. So for 5 dice, you've hit once. For 7 dice, he's hit twice, and then he hits again, only 1, and you miss again. I mean, just you can't buy yourself a vowel, as they say. It's that's some crazy bad luck, man. So no fault on. I mean, besides the fact that you didn't have an air, like I said, even 1 anti-aircraft there. But I will tell you, if you're playing at home and you play on a tabletop, you see this, the computer, you can miss things with the computer because you're moving this around. Like I didn't see that 75 aircraft carrier until I happened upon it. I was not intending to find that. So you can miss stuff. It's a little deceptive. I don't think any of the other battles are too surprising. Um, you're so he is going to make some good money this time. Let's see what he does. He gets $71. Now he earns some money. He steals money, and as well as
Germany at 93 and Japan at 71. That's not
yeah,
good.
yeah, not good. To take a look at, excuse me, the numbers right now as far as the players. The Axis has 187. Just a tremendous change of fortunes with just 2 battles, crucial battles. Um, Okay, let's go back. How do we fight our way back? I mean, this is like the real war in 1940, 42. January of 42, when everything looked so bad for the Allies. Um, I don't think it looks actually that bad, but
So
because
at this point, I am pretty much close to giving up and posting his win, but I am going to do the American round to see if I can take out his German fleet.
excellent, good. So you buy a carrier, one destroyer, four fighters, and one transport. I assume a lot of that is going to the Atlantic. And here we go, the big battle. Um, so this battle, Oysteilo is saying this is the battle for the game. Now, like I said, he's got the Pacific locked down, in my opinion. He's got um, China locked down. He's got Africa locked down, and he is uh, just a iron curtain. The Iron Curtain has descended in this round, but uh, he's discouraged, and this battle is this he's just been hit twice in a big hard way. 33 is not a big battle. Let's go for it. Let's take a look. So he is going to attack with 9 bombers, heavy bombers, by the way. So if in my analysis, heavy bombers, as much as you think to yourself, that's not a big one. In fact, that's kind of cheesy. You roll 2 dice. Well, in my real world experience, heavy bombers is one of the best techs. It is the equivalent of a cruise missile that is going to hit almost every time.
I think it is the best tech you can have.
I mean, I love shipyards. Um, Shipyards alone equalizes the game, but heavy bombers, long range aircraft is so handy for the Allies. But heavy bombers, it is fantastic. Okay, let's take a look. So, any idea of the battle calc on this?
No, but you can check and see
Yeah, let's check. Let's check what it is.
what it says.
All right, let me. Okay. Ah, shucks. They always spoil it for me. Okay, I'm gonna put the thing here. I'll do Control B, calculate odds. You're gonna win 4.5% of the time. Average defenders left 14. So obviously this I don't think this battle calc does a great job with the heavy bomber portion of this. Um,
Uh,
it's
it's a, it's a little bit strange, but he has so many units, so probably that's why. But I
Sure,
also have a second round with the British, so I have
that's
some
right.
units that can take down any remainers.
Excellent. All right, so here we go. All right, there we go. So you see the power of these dice right here.
So all my
Every
heavy bombers hit.
every one of the heavy bombers hits the cruiser and a destroyer, combining to 5 pips out of 6, both miss. So that's very fortunate. He so this would have been, in my opinion, this would have been I am trying to figure out how the subs fight in this. The subs fight, they fire 3, see how the casualties go. They roll for the carriers, and he gets 5 hits. Okay, so the destroyers are gone, the destroyers cruisers. So the subs can only hit the destroyer cruisers. So um, on the other hand, okay, so um, this is where I would ask you, hey, did you think about leaving the destroyer home? Because if you
Yeah,
if you
I
left the
did.
destroyer
I did
home,
think of that, but I don't remember right now why I brought
sure,
it in. But it was definitely something I was considering to leave
yeah,
the destroyer away.
because if you don't, for instance, if you didn't bring any ships, which again is the ships are cheaper, and you if you have a second shot at those heavy bombers, that's going to make a huge difference. But if you brought no surface ships in, every one of those would have been against a ship or an air, and the subs would not have been able to be taken as a casualty. However, I will say that most of the British, or a lot of the British, are coming in with the ships, and so maybe your part two would have been less powerful. But let's continue. The 6 bombers that remain fire, and they get what?
Six
Every
hits.
single bomber hits, overperforming 15 out of 15 hits, people. What does that tell you about heavy bombers? 6 hits, he finishes the battle. It's a loss of all the heavy bombers, but boy, did they perform. Let's take a look at that. Okay, check this out. He's got 4 fighters left. Guess what? Those 4 fighters, he only has the airbase right here, and they can only scramble 3. So those transports are doomed. And it should, by every standard of metric of luck, they should be gone. Um, and his entire purchase last time is gone. His forward advance in Russia is stalled. Um, he can keep this for sure, but that was huge. Very good purchase with the bombers. Very lucky that you had heavy bombers, right? I mean, if you didn't have heavy bombers, what are you thinking at this point in time?
I wouldn't have had a chance. It would
Not a
be game
chance.
over.
Not a chance. I mean,
Not a
let's
chance.
just to take a look again at the rolls for the Americans. If you just counted the first 9 dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice, he would have missed twice. And then he would have had another extra unit in there. Okay, so anyways, let's stop fawning over the heavy dice. Get back to our work. Let's take a look at the Pacific. I didn't look at that. I don't know where we are as far as time goes. He is still sort of a shotgun ready to fire. Oh, he does. He did take over Celebes. So slowly but surely, right there. Okay, so strong, strong moves. Let's see if there's any. Okay, 26. Okay, that's it. The battle is in the South Pacific right now. And huge Navy, a larger Navy than he has, I believe. 4 carriers to his. So a lot of times you'll do a carrier count. And right now you're 5 carriers to his 3. That's, by the way, that was a real war thing. The Japanese started off. No, he does have a carrier over here, but it's out of position. Um, so he's got 4 carriers in the Pacific. You've got 4 as well. Um,
But I
and
don't have enough planes. I have too few planes. I only
you have
have
too few
five
planes.
five planes on the 4 carriers.
Yeah, I do like uh, I do like to leave space on the carrier decks for the Anzac fighters because I will say that if a carrier moves 3 and then the Anzac fighter moves 4, it can pick off unexpected um, targets. But anyways, that's just something I've been playing with over the last year with my games with Schultze. All right, let's go to the Chinese who are dominating um, the China. He's on the coast. He's also now again threatening a victory city. Although, uh, if you have, because he has this, he actually has 1, 2 in the Philippines, Manila, 3, Hong Kong, 4, and then 5 in Tokyo. So he is 1 victory city away from victory. Are you nervous at all about that?
He's 2 cities away, isn't it? No, in 1 city, exactly, because he has India, of course. But
Right,
I will be able to retake
right.
India. So
Retake India, easy as pie. Okay, so
yeah,
no problem
so
there.
I'm not too worried about the situation in the Pacific right here.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're looking strong. You have the skirmish war. So a lot of times you might see people sort of move in, but notice that he's playing sort of a cat and mouse. Um, uh, I would think you're trying to maintain a bit of a skirmish back and forth with these islands. Make him use some of his transports. You kill his transport, he kills yours, back and forth, retake the islands, and just waste a lot of precious resources in the South Pacific while the Chinese become more dominant and while you take back India.
That is
All
the
right.
exact plan, definitely.
Yep. Okay, so let's go, and we no purchase for the British London East European British, but the British over in. Okay, so then we have you take everything back.
Yeah, I think there's also should be a battle in 110, shouldn't it?
110. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Okay, 110, big battle. Okay, and India. I'm not sure there's going to be anything. And French Indo. Okay, let's take a look. Right panel. I'm coming in. He's coming in with all the air. Um, it's going to be 5 air versus. I would think he scrambles. He does not scramble.
No, he does not scramble.
All right, and he realizes that. So that is a realization that those planes are actually more valuable than those fighters. Um, than those planes are more valuable than his transports. Um,
But I also need to land my planes, so I think they need to land in Ireland.
sure, sure. Yep, yep. It's going to be a loss, but definitely worth the 9. And you're just in a rebuilding phase at this point in time. Keeping, I mean, if you keep everything in check that you have, Middle East, Eastern Front, Asia, this is just a slow boil. You just have to take your time and build back. Um, you're now going to be building back in India. The British attack, and of course they win, and he misses, and there we go. All right. So what
But
are the Italian? Yeah, go ahead.
just one key point here. I think it was discussed during your review with Gamerman, but now you have Germany has 7 armors sitting in London, and there are no transports to take them back. So
Ah,
so that's important for Russia because they can't do anything.
right,
So
right, right.
that's why it's so important to kill all those transports.
Yes, very good. All right. Let's see. And then the did you think about dropping one of those in Scotland to block or
No, because I have the air base in Scotland, so
uh oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. Okay, good, good, good. Very good. Very good. Very so that you got me. Yeah, that's good stuff. Italy buys a fighter, a mech, and a sub. He is back in the building. The fleets have all been reduced. There's barely any shipping in the European theater of operations. I'm not even sure. Yeah, the Americans are in the building phase as well. So the ships have all pretty much died um, in these massive battles. The
so it's been cleaned out pretty well, both in the Mediterranean and in the Atlantic. Hardly any
Yes,
ships left.
very good. Okay, so he does collect $25. So that is owns Somaliland owns only Libya, so it's mostly European possessions. All the south here, southern France, and then Italy, Albania, Greece, and then Western Ukraine. Still making and Baltic, still making $25. Okay, and he's got the bonus. He's making a bonus because there's no warships in the Med. All right, so then Anzac buys a destroyer and a transports. Any significant? It's got a battle in New Britain, a battle in 55, and then let's go down here. Let's take a look at the situation over here. So, I mean, again, this is always taking New Britain back, so he's going to get some bonuses. he did get convoyed. Let's see what the Submariners did in that situation. Cost to convoy blockade 3 out of 4. That's unlucky. And then you make $16. Not bad income for um, 4 Anzacs, and I think there's almost 0 French troops left as well. Just the ones in right here in Iraq as well as Egypt. All right, let's venture into. I want to see what time it is.
Yeah. So I was thinking too, maybe we should call it a day soon, and we can
Okay.
continue with the remaining rounds some other day.
Okay. Well, this has been great. I just want to, I am just so impressed by your play. Obviously, you did have, some pretty serious, like I said, if he hadn't got the double on you, um, London would not have been so bad. But with the double, that's that's
Yeah,
uh, that's a good pick on his part. I mean, and he's in a
definitely.
tough situation. 35 is a very defensible location for the Japanese fleet,
Yeah,
and his early purchase of transports is paying off. But
definitely.
your China moves, your fleet movements have been with very few exceptions. You have your spread of communism bonus. You're about to get another one, by the way, in Italian Somaliland. That's another get in Libya. You're going to be making, excuse me, $7 more. So the Russians, literally speaking, even with a fallen London, are going to be making more, I think, than the Germans.
At
Uh,
least they're going to make about the same,
yeah,
and I think I have will get plus 15 from the spread of communism, and then I also have a war bond. So maybe I get like about 20 in bonus each round, which is
60. You're going to end up with $65 next turn,
uh,
and Germany has 58.
so it's not the end of the day, but the big problem is there are no allied forces in the Atlantic.
Right, right, right. So you are completely building from scratch.
Yeah,
Um, just so it's going to be a slog, but I'm deeply impressed by your play, Oysteilo. Um,
thank you.
thank you so much for joining me today and talking. And yeah, I look forward to talking with you again.
Yeah, sounds
All
good.
right, all right. Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
bye bye.
Let me end the recording, and then I'm just going to chat with you just for a second to give you my greetings.
Sure.